For 3 years, I was the ideal daughter-in-law, drained our savings for Mill's surgery, took care of her around the clock, sacrificed a promotion. They threw her a birthday party on my birthday, without inviting me. That was the last straw. I loaded my bags and began a new life. You have to lose your fake family sometimes to find yourself. Hi Reddit. Still shaking while I type this out, but it needs to get off my chest. Apologies for the lengthy post, but lots of background needed. Mill had surgery for a hernia 2 months ago. As the good DIA that I am, I immersed myself in helping. I took 2 weeks unpaid to drive her to all her pre-op appointments, spent hours on medical websites, made her a special diet plan that followed the doctor's orders, figured out how to cook bland, salt-free versions of her favorites. I dealt with all of the paperwork, sat with her through many blood draws, held her hand when she was anxious about meeting the surgeon. We used almost all our house deposit savings to spend on private consultations in a fancy hospital room. I even took on weekend freelance work to pay for the post-op care and special equipment. You are not sure or are afraid of changing jobs because you will have to travel for it, and you cannot leave Emma alone during her convalescence. We redesigned her bedroom to be the ideal recovery space: adjustable bed, a remodeled bathroom with handrails and non-slip flooring, and plenty of furniture rearrangement to ease movement. I personally chose every detail and even coordinated with a physical therapist to make sure it was all flawless. The surgery went well. Upon MIL's discharge, the doctor commended MIL's preparedness. How comprehensive all her medical documentation was. I felt proud, as if I had finally proven myself in the family. How naive. Every day post-surgery, I prepared fresh spinach smoothies and protein shakes according to the nutritionist's recipe. Wash and iron her favorite bed sheets, hotel style, her requirement. Planned out her meds. Wrote a detailed recovery journal. Establishing a dedicated app to schedule appointments and procedures. What did I get in return? Constant criticism. The smoothie is too cold. The private hospital improved the bed. You walk too loud, I can't rest. Oh no, goodbye, you know I like to sleep in. In the meantime, she called her friends every day, lamenting about her inexperienced daughter-in-law and how her precious son could have done better. My husband's response? Mom's extra sensitive right now, you know. Yesterday was my birthday. Woke up at 5:30 a.m., breakfasted all around, blueberry pancakes, a special request from Phil the night before. Not one happy birthday. My husband, he left early for an important meeting. Mill was occupied with a friend and discussing her recovery. Sil slept through breakfast, but at least asked whether I could watch her kids at night. I was hurt, but didn't want to cause a ruckus. Perhaps they're making an elaborate surprise, I thought. Maybe they're just busy. My colleagues bought me a cake and a gift card to my favorite bookstore. My parents FaceTimed to sing happy birthday. Even I received Facebook messages from old high school friends. But from my new family? Silence. I worked late to complete a quarterly report. At about 8 p.m., I arrived home to see several strange cars parked in my driveway. Music and laughter had floated out of the house. My heart leaped. Had they really planned a surprise party? I opened the door and froze. The house was decorated with the same garlands I'd used for Mill's party many months ago. The living room was full of some 15 people, all of my husband's friends and family. There was a huge cake on the table, the same bakery I'd driven 40 minutes out of the way to get for Mill's birthday. There was a banner above the fireplace. Welcome home, Mom. Yes, they had a party to celebrate Mill coming home after her hernia surgery, a scheduled procedure which everyone had known about for weeks. On my birthday, and didn't even ask me. I remained in the hallway for 5 minutes. Nobody saw me. They were all busy with some party game. My husband, serving drinks, enjoyed his aunt's jokes. Mill sat in her favorite armchair like a queen on her throne, accepting congratulations and gifts. Sil was showing everyone pictures of her children. And I was invisible. Something broke inside me. A flood of those years of hurt and humiliation. I tiptoed upstairs to our room, packed a small bag of necessities, crept out the back door, hit the road and drove until I ended up in a motel parking lot. I spent all night pacing, replaying in my mind the last 3 years. All of Mill's casual comments about how some girls don't know how to fold towels right, all the times my husband canceled our plans because his mom needed help with something immediate. All of the family photos where I was, "Will you step to the side or can you take the picture?" All the holidays I was treated like hired help instead of family. All of the conversations about the future, where my will and my dreams were completely disregarded. That day, after morning work for everyone, I returned home. In 2 hours, I loaded up all my things, surprisingly few for 3 years of marriage. A good deal of my clothing was purchased on Mill's advice. All of my jewelry was family gifts for holidays. I had even stopped buying books I loved, despite Mill's, as she thought that reading novels is a waste of time. Charlotte Uge Proshla V. Glavno Zalo. First for Mill. Dear, good news on your recovery. I hope yesterday's celebration was special. Yesterday was my birthday, by the way. Thank you for showing me my true place in your family. P.S. All of the recipes I wrote down with such care are in the very top kitchen drawer. Your future daughter-in-law no doubt will find them more helpful. P.S. Good luck finding someone to cook Sunday dinners, iron FIL shirts, and watch the grandkids while you binge-watched your show. Second for my husband. Congrats, you get to be the ideal son now without the distraction of being a husband. I promise not to disrupt your family happiness anymore. Speaking of which, you didn't clear your browser history I noticed last week when you searched for your mom's welcome home gift. Funny how in 3 years of marriage you never once shopped for a gift for me. I deleted all our pictures. I'm sure your mom will be thrilled to fill the album with nice new pics of your perfect family. P.S. Don't bother searching for our savings. I've shifted mine to another account. I saved all of the receipts for renovations and new furniture on your parents' house. Those will come in handy in divorce. Third for Sil. Name. Thank you for all the times you asked me to babysit your kids due to your urgent matters and working long hours. I saw your bar's Instagram stories. Good luck finding another free babysitter. P.S. I took screenshots of everything you sent me asking for childcare and everything you posted in the club on those same nights. The custody lawyer of your dreams will love them. After that, I went to my best friend's house. She didn't ask questions, just hugged me and told me her office guest room couch was mine for as long as I needed it. The phone started going off at about 6 p.m. I suppose someone finally returned home and found me missing. Husband, 15 missed calls and 23 messages. Baby, what are you doing? Mom's just had surgery. She can't get stressed. This was just a surprise to rally around her. She was so concerned about the recovery. We were going to celebrate your birthday on the weekend. I even bought you a present. Stop being dramatic. Come home. You people are destroying the family. How can you be so selfish? Mom's stitches are not even healed. Mel, 4 voicemails sobbing. How could you do this to us after all we've done for you? We welcomed you, fed you, loved you as our own. You throw this fit over a birthday. You broke my son's heart and humiliated the entire family in front of relatives. I knew from the beginning that you weren't the right one for our family, but I put up with you for my son. Sile, 12 messenger messages. I always knew you were selfish, but wow, this is a new level. Mom's on medicine now, her blood pressure was high. Hope you're happy? I do not know what I will tell the kids where their favorite aunt went. Yes, your threats regarding custody are out the gate. I saved all your messages for my lawyer. I blocked all of them and made an appointment with a divorce lawyer. Maybe I'm overreacting, but I can't and don't want to pretend everything is okay anymore. It is only now, on reflection, that I know I've been gradually disappearing all along. Do you remember this scene from The Lion King when the hyenas slowly surround Simba? That's how it felt. I was being taken step by step by others' expectations, manipulations, and demands. It started small. No longer wore bright colors because respectable families favor pastels. Stopped doing my culinary experiments, had to cook according to MIL's recipes. Let go my night French classes. Grown women think about family, not foolishness. Stopped seeing friends. There were always urgent family matters. In 3 years, I had gone from a strong, ambitious female to a ghost, always apologizing, questioning every decision, prepared to scrap any plan at MIL's first request. I woke up every day thinking, how can I let them down today? I made endless to-do lists, attempting to anticipate every desire of my new family, fixed to speak apologetically even when I was fucking right. Began to dread the ping of incoming messages, another ask, another grievance, another, well, my friend's daughter. I tried to be the daughter-in-law of her dreams, but the bar kept getting higher. Nailed all of Miles' signature dishes. Not bad, but just still not quite right. Changed to organic cleaning products at her insistence, but you are using them wrong. Joined her book club. Just don't sit next to me, that's my friend's spot. At one point I noticed that I was saying her phrases, sounding like her. I even dreamt of prepping endlessly for family dinners and fearing I would mess things up. The straw that broke the camel's back wasn't the surgery, or even this damned party. It was catching an obviously staged photo of myself at their party, back in the corner of their living room in a gray, of course, pastel, with my hair done just like Mills in an attempt to be even less there, even more convenient, even more nothing. And you know what's scariest? I nearly assimilated myself into thinking this was normal, that it was okay to weep in the lava at yet another family council, apologize for existing. One life completely reoriented around other people's whims. Abuse my own hopes and wishes. I was used to this stress, and when new colleagues would ask, "How are you?" I defaulted to, "Fine," even the days I came home from work with tear-soaked cheeks. Now, in my friend's apartment, I feel like myself, for the first time in years. Yes, the voice of Mill is still whirring around my head, admonishing every decision, and yes, I still wake in a panic, convinced I overslept preparing the morning meal for the family. But for the first time in 3 years, I can breathe and feel simply, I deserve better. I deserve to wake up without fear, to wear colors I like, to cook what I want, to spend time with people who appreciate the real me, to create my life according to my own rules. Maybe it sounds melodramatic, but today as I packed my suitcase, I thought, this isn't about the missed birthday or Miel's party. It's about learning to save myself. AI Watsi. Solution to everything, 17 points, 25 days ago. Edit 1. Hot damn, I did not expect this to blow up. And for the all support and awards, thank you all. Answering frequent questions. No, we didn't sign a prenup. Yes, I was working full-time and my contribution into the family budget plus would buy groceries for everyone about twice per month. No kids, but the mill was always dropping hints about grandchildren. The suggestions became increasingly forceful. She even made me an appointment with a good fertility specialist behind my back. I do track all the expenses, yes. In the past year, more than 60% of our savings had gone toward what they call family needs. Their house renovations, new furniture, gifts for relatives, and so on. No, it was not possible to negotiate. Any discussion of problems resulted in accusations of ingratitude and MIL's histrionics. Edit 2. Husband keeps texting from new numbers. Now suing for theft of family recipes and emotional damage to his mother. Also, threatening to tell my work what an ungrateful and backstabbing person I am. I've taken screenshots of all the threats, and I've forwarded them to my lawyer. Edit 3. A coworker inadvertently revealed, my husband was not at an important meeting on the morning of my birthday. He was at that bakery, picking up the cake for his mom's welcome home party. Update, a week later. Lawyer, meeting, divorce proceedings. Turns out, according to our state laws, all the upgrades to Mill's home can qualify as family investments, and everything must be divided. Located temporary job in another city, 3 HR away. Previous clients offered 6 months of work with some remote opportunity. Rented a small flat, brought stuff over. Security in the building has been instructed not to allow in any relatives. Husband followed up with official letter from his lawyer accusing me of emotional abuse of his mother and demanding compensation for the ruined family celebration. Mill found out about the divorce and wrote to all relatives and mutual friends that I was always emotionally unstable and possibly need professional help. Sil is telling people that I stole family heirlooms, as if those cheap pieces of jewelry they gave me over the years would be family heirlooms. Some of husband's colleagues wrote to tell me he's already scouting rental options by his parents' house. Final update. 1 month has passed. I appreciate all those who were there for me. Here's what's changed. Divorce is progressing, and my lawyer is loving all the receipts and bank statements I saved. New job is great. For the first time in 3 years, I want to put my energies into my career, not Sunday roast perfection. Started therapy. It turns out, I was in a textbook gaslighting and emotional abuse scenario. It was when I turned 18 and parents would allow me to stay with them, but I said, no way. I need to learn to be independent. I adopted a dog from a shelter, and now I have a real friend who loves me no matter what. I am drained and liberated at the same time. Thank you, Reddit, for helping me see what I should be doing. At times, losing a false family helps you find yourself. In retrospect, there were tons of red flags I was willing to overlook for the sake of family harmony. The house dynamic. Their management of living spaces was a tell. We had an entire 5-bedroom house, and my classmate and I were given the tiniest bedroom next to the laundry room. It's temporary, they said. Mill, in the meantime, had 2 rooms of her own, one for sleeping in and one for her crafts, which amounted to hundreds of unread magazines, some decades old. When I proposed that we turn the craft room into our bedroom, you'd think I had suggested selling the house. Their daily routines became set iron law. Breakfast needed to be delivered at precisely 7:15 a.m. Laundry could only be done on certain days. That's how the way we've always done it. Volume on the TV had to be exactly 23. Any louder disturbs Mom's afternoon nap. The kitchen needed to be cleaned in a specific order. It's more efficient this way. The ordering of cups in the dishwasher became a flashpoint. The financial nightmare. Although we paid rent, which seemed to magically increase whenever MIL found a new home improvement project, we were required to pay 50% of all utilities, even though only 2 out of 6 people in the household. Cover all grocery shopping, since you're cooking anyway. Pitch in for their property taxes. You live here too? Fully fund our family get-togethers. You're so good at organizing these things. The career sabotage. I would have been in line for the management position before I moved in with them, except somehow every relevant work event clashed with family obligations. Mill needed someone to drive her to get her hair done, so I had to sit out of a critical presentation on date. Couldn't find time to network because Sunday dinners are non-negotiable. Decline a conference in New York. Who will help with Sylv's kids? Needed to take calls in my car because business talk disrupts family atmosphere. The social isolation. They had subtle ways of isolating me from my support network. Organized family events every time I had something planned with friends. Commented passive-aggressively on my college friends who are party girls. Demanded that I unfriend my male colleagues on Facebook. It's inappropriate for a married woman. Tried to interrogate every phone call I received. Who needs to be on the phone for so long? The medical control. The hernia surgery wasn't the first instance that they used health problems as a means to maintain control. Over 3 years, Mill would get mysterious migraines whenever we planned to go on a trip without them. Phil's blood pressure spikes somehow happened right before our date nights. Still, also employees can show separation anxiety at the same time that I have to complete some essential functions. Their dog's vet appointments became somehow my responsibility too. The psychological warfare. Their manipulation techniques were artful. Love bombing following especially severe criticism. Weaponizing flying monkeys, relatives, so that I doubt my feelings. Changing the narrative so that I question my recollections. Financial manipulation to maintain our dependency. Guilt-tripping over family loyalty. Specific events that should have been wake-up calls. The Christmas incident. Last Christmas I spent weeks planning the perfect family dinner, made everything from scratch, his Miel's favorite recipes. The morning of, she felt moved to help by completely recreating my carefully considered table setting and adding her own dishes because people expect traditional food. When guests showed up, she announced, "Thank goodness I stepped in or we'd all be eating perfect food." The anniversary disaster. My husband finally agreed to a weekend away for our second anniversary. I also booked a romantic getaway that was non-refundable. 2 days earlier, Mill declared she'd organized a surprise family photo shoot for the weekend because family memories are worth more than selfish holidays. The work promotion. Then I was offered a major promotion that would have doubled my salary but included some night hours, and MIL staged an intervention. She called the whole family to tell them how career women make terrible wives and how I was ruining the family dynamic. The recipe book incident. I painstakingly spent months putting together a family recipe book for Christmas, gathering and testing recipes from my side of the family as well as from my partners. Mill opened it, noticed I'd shared my family's recipes alongside hers and cried because I was trying to erase their family history. The control over our future. They had our whole lives mapped out. Eventually, we would take over the ground floor, after appropriate renovations at our expense. Future children would be raised properly, according to Mill's rules. My career would be an afterthought to family obligations. Holidays, vacations, and weekends will always be based on their schedule. The breaking point. The occurrence of the birthday surgery party was merely the final straw. Watching them celebrate while I stood invisible in my own home, it crystallized everything. How my husband would say "not now" whenever I tried to talk about our future. The time Mill decided to have health concerns conveniently right when we started planning our independence. How every single attempt to enforce boundaries resulted in tears and accusations. How my identity had been gradually erased and supplanted by theirs. The aftermath. What I have learned since then. My husband had been telling his mother about each and every one of our marital problems. My family group chat in which I shared my shortcomings with other relatives. Mornings of my unstable personality to new family friends. Sil has kept a diary about my suspicious behavior for months. Professional assessment. My therapist helped me recognize that I was grappling with grown-up narcissistic family systems. Financial abuse via forced dependency. Using health issues to emotionally manipulate. Systematic obliteration of personal boundaries. Complex trauma bonding. Steps to recovery. Now I'm focused on creating my career network from scratch, reconnecting with old friends, finding my style and tastes again, healthy boundaries in all relationships, relearning to trust my gut. The future. Still working on my divorce. As long as I'm in court with them, I'm taking cooking classes, making dishes I actually like. Bright colors decorating my new apartment. A solo trip to Europe. Beginning a blog on ways to overcome toxic relationships. Coming to terms with the past and finally looking forward. Lessons learned. Love doesn't require you to forget who you are. Family is not a matter of control and manipulation. True support has no strings attached. You are never too old for a fresh start. Your mental health outweighs other people's expectations. A final note. I made dinner in my new apartment yesterday. A spicy curry Mill would have hated. So there I sat, eating my inappropriate food in my too bright living room, wearing my attention-seeking red dress. And I realized something. The opposite of what they wanted isn't rebellion, it's just being myself. And that was the most frightening part.